Okay, level 3 creative media production, unit 1 and 29, music video producer. This is for the specifics document and what you need to do within the specifics document. If you open up the Word document on Boodle, you'll see is task 4. Specifics, what is needed. It says individually, you need to record or create a written report, podcast, or like I'm doing now, a vlog that identifies what the specifics are for your music video and music video production team's needs. So what you need to do is, after your group vlog, you now need to narrow down your ideas and sharpen your focus and be specific. In your group vlog, you were speaking in generalities, in broad statements as to what you needed, what your general plans were, what you hope to do. The specifics document is a time for you to be specific, to be to the point, to give concrete examples as to what it is you need. So you'll see I've split into two different categories, facilities and materials. So you need to select vlog, podcast or written and put it on your Google Plus by the 11th of October. Here is what I'm looking for. Under facilities, I've mentioned production equipment, so you could name what production equipment you wish to use. Final Cut Pro, After Effects, Premiere, iMovie, Photoshop if you're doing some graphics work in your music video. Tell me, be specific. Post-production equipment, again, comes into that. What particular equipment and software you need. Of course, what cameras you're going to be using comes in here as well. Are you using a Nikon, a Canon, a 550D, a 600D? What lens are you going to be using? Is it the standard 30 to 55mm lens? Is it the new 50mm lens we've got over the road? Are you going to be using lights, green screen? What equipment are you going to be needing? Facility houses. Now, facility house is the place where your facilities are stored. So BCOTs would be the facility house for many of you. But your facility house for some people, and in one group in particular, are going to be renting it from a different college, their equipment. Another group is going to be renting it from a friend of theirs' dad. He is the facility house, as it were. He owns all the equipment. So you tell me exactly who your facility house is going to be. Probably BCOT. Outsourcing. Now this means when you have someone outside of your team come in to your production team and do a job for you, whether that be acting, whether that be coming in to be on camera one day, to be, I don't know, in charge of lighting that day. Someone you outsource from outside of your production team comes in and helps you with the actual production. Availability. So tell me, when are they available? Certain weekdays? Are people working part-time jobs? Give me the specifics as to when people are available. Costs. What's going to cost? Be specific. Tell me how much exactly train fare is going to cost from Woking to Basingstoke, if that's the route one of your cast or crew is going to be undertaking on the day of your actual shoot. What's going to cost? Materials. So what sort of type of materials are you going to be needing? Any original materials, any props, any costumes, for example, you may need? Be specific. What are you going to need? You need to actually start thinking about what you actually need. Archive and library materials. Are you going to be using any pre-existing materials, such as archive footage of the war, of crowds, of sounds of people, of nature? There are archives online for you to access and use. Pre-existing archive materials of, I would hope you would be creating wholly original pieces, but you may wish to use some cutaway footage of some pre-existing archive library footage. If so, tell me. Photo library materials, again, similar. Any pre-existing owned copyright material by somebody else, any secondary sort of footage that you would be using in the music video, tell me. Even if it's a logo of a band, for example. Sound library materials. Any additional sound at all? that you're going to be using, any extra sort of sound bites. Some of you are going to be doing intros, little skits in the middle, and outros in your music video. Any additional sounds you're going to be using? If so, now's the time to tell me in the materials section. Graphics. Now, graphics, if any of you have got a grasp of Photoshop, you may wish to take responsibility for this. Any graphics you're going to be using at all, any sort of cutaways, any effects, for example, you may wish to employ in the video, tell me about them here. Be specific, tell me what you're going to be doing and why. One group I know is doing a energy drink and making a logo for this sort of parody of energy drink, the Get Hyper team. They're going to be using graphics. Tell me exactly why and how you're going to be using graphics. Interviews. You've done interviews already to find out information for your music video. Tell me how they went. Costumes. What costumes are available? Are you going to be testing them on your actors before you actually shoot? Be specific again. Properties. So, who owns the properties you're going to be filming on, the locations? That will be covered in the documentation, but now's a good chance as well to mention the properties. Who owns the properties? Recorded music, you need to of course tell me the exact name and title of the track you're going to be using, and you may wish to mention a backup as well, because you aren't tied to the song you choose at this point. We're in the pre-production stage right now where you're working through your ideas. It may develop and evolve into something completely different, so you may wish to mention a backup song at this point. Sources. So who are the sources for these elements of materials? Where are you going to find them from? Your uncle, your friend, the college, a production house in London. Who are the sources? Who owns these elements, these materials? Again, costs. Any costs in your materials at all? If you're going to make a costume, for example, it may cost. However, if you use the fashion department, it might be for free. Find this out, be specific. Clearances, how long have you got permission to actually use the locations and the equipment for? If you hire out a camera, have you got it for 24 hours? Have you got it for 48 hours? Again, be specific for me. Once you're done with your specifics, vlog, podcast, or written post, you need to upload it to your Google Plus page so I can mark it. Once you've done that, I'll be giving you thorough, detailed feedback on your work so far. Okay, to read the merit and distinction criteria, I refer you to the Word document. Any questions, tweet at @bcotmedia and I'll respond straight away. Okay?